Hi everybody, I hope everyone's doing well this weekend. I am going to do a series of videos on peony varieties, and I'm also going to go through the early varieties, the mid-blooming varieties, and the kind of mid-late and late. That way you'll be familiar with your own peonies that you're growing. So I'm going to start with kind of some early varieties and what to expect. Here is just trying to come up, so I would probably say it is an early variety, but it's not going to be a coral charm, more than likely. This is still going to be an early variety, but not a coral charm, because it is trying to emerge from the soil. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to try not to make anyone dizzy. This one here is emerging also, but it's not as robust and large, because I am seeing some of the corals coming up, and they are very large. Let me move over to this bed here. This one is very large. It's already got, and I bet it's probably got a bud in here somewhere, not yet, but more than likely that's a coral charm. Same with that one that's up. And then I have one over here that has 7 eyes. It's gonna have 7 stems coming on it. And I do have a marker right here, and it's pink Hawaiian coral. So these early birds are definitely the corals. And not always, there's very early varieties. Paula Fay, it's a single anemone style peony. It's very early. There's several that are early that will come up, and they will be the first to bloom. I'm just noticing in my box right now, I have several different varieties. This variety right here that you can see, it's just barely coming up. Here's the eyes, and then I'm going to show you another variety. Here's another one with the eyes just barely coming up. And then here's one that's a little bit further along. Here's one that's just coming up. And another one that's just showing. Now let me show you one that's way up. And that is a early blooming peony. It's already that high up and that far along. That is going to be an early variety, more than likely a coral charm. Here's one that's just barely out, and another one that started, and it's up, but that's not quite a very early. This is probably an early to mid variety. Here's another one that's coming up, and that's probably an early to mid. And now I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to show you some that are really moving along. This one here, look at how large. And there's 7 eyes I've counted on that. This is here, and I had it marked. I had my little marker, and it's a pink Hawaiian coral. So that is an early blooming peony. And if I look in this bed, I have many that are coming up. Here's one that's quite large. There's another one that's quite large, and then another one right over there. Now this whole bed again, excuse me, is full. And if I look in here, I can probably find some that are just with their eyes above, just peeking out. So I definitely have many different varieties of blooms in these beds. This bed over here, I have actually a leaf on here and some eyes. This may be an early also. I didn't mark any of them. Well, I marked a few, but I didn't mark a whole lot because I'll know what they are when I see the blooms. Here is one, and I have it marked Mon Jules. I have the marker right here, and the Mon Jules is right here. And Mon Jules is mid. And there's probably a mid to early. And all throughout this bed, I see some red eyes. showing. And some I don't see any. So the ones that are just barely showing are going to be my mid. Here's one that's quite large, and that's probably a coral charm or pink Hawaiian coral. Here's one coming up. But anyway, the point of the reason I'm doing this is to show you and to help you understand that in your garden, the best thing to do is to try to pick several varieties. That way you have blooms as long as you can. You can have a very early bloom. You can have a mid-early. You can have mid-season and even mid to late and late season. Now, I probably won't offer many of the mid-late or late. It's just, I usually order the earlier blooming peonies just because of the weather and the climate. So, but keep that in mind when you go to ordering also. Okay, so let's take a walk out into the cutting garden. Oh, I hope that wind's not bad. It's just a little bit of wind kind of really puts a strong sound on here. The variety I'm showing now that is up out of the ground, this variety is Kansas. Kansas is a very fragrant, hot pink fuchsia, stunning, knock your socks off again variety, early variety, does not need staking, and grows well in any zone above 8 and above. It's just very hardy, one you can really depend on, one that will not disappoint. And if you are just starting out, I would say definitely put Kansas on your list. Kansas usually will give me blooms the first year. I don't want to turn too fast and make anybody dizzy. But I have 100 planted here, and out of the 100, most every single one of them is up out of the ground. I know that looks like little round circles of dirt, but in every one of these little dirt clods is a stem. And this variety again is Kansas.